Hello, and welcome to another episode of Artist Spotlight. I'm Vicki Landon, Administrator for Orange County's Office of Arts and Cultural Affairs, and I am here today with our most recent artist here at the Art in the Multicultural Center, Guerline Pierre with Through Her Eyes. Guerline, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So you were born and raised in South Florida, and you started doing pencil drawings at age 6, right? So you started as an artist really young. What prompted your move up here to Orange County?
I've been living in South Florida all of my life, and I wanted to find a new opportunity. In doing so, I've been able to find an art community, a supportive art community at that I haven't been able to find back home.
So how did you connect with artists once you first moved here?
Moving here, I've connected with artists through art shows such as Art Walk Orlando and markets such as for 1887 First Market in Eatonville. I've been able to bounce ideas, share tips and such with my community of artists that I've gained here.
So, Guerline, you've been doing pencil drawing since you were 6, but then you started painting in 2019. What is it that made you inspired to start doing paintwork and acrylics instead of pencil drawing?
Back in December of 2018, I visited Art Basel, and I remember the feeling I felt being in front of all of the different paintings and works, and I felt like I can do it too. So I decided to go to Walmart and purchase art supplies such as paint, canvases, and easels, and the rest was history.
Now, I scrolled all the way back to your very first Instagram post, which was in January 2019, and it was a painting of a hibiscus. Was that your first painted piece?
Yes, that's my first painting I created.
So what made you choose a hibiscus for your first piece?
I love the flower, and it's native to Florida, and it's also the national flower of my home country, Haiti. And it's also just something that I wanted to just start out simple.
So did you always think that you would have a career as an artist, or were there other career paths that you thought you wanted to pursue instead?
Since graduating high school, I've always wanted to pursue a career in architecture, but I ended up becoming a pharmacy technician. And as a pharmacy tech, I've been constrained creatively. So diving into art, I've also noticed that there are other artists that were able to create a career out of this. So I felt like I can do this too, which what prompted me to pursue this career.
I love it. So much of your art career, it sounds like is based out of this confidence. Like you're going to Art Basel, you see a piece, you're like, I can do this. You see other people having other careers and being artists, you go, I can do this. But I want to talk a little bit about your personal story. In your artist statement, you've mentioned how you've had a really evolving relationship with your natural hair. And that's been part of your personal journey and your artistic journey. Will you tell us a little bit about that and how that's showing up in these pieces?
Growing up, I've always had a negative, insecure view of my natural hair, and in my early adulthood I've decided to become natural. Throughout my whole childhood I've been wearing relaxers. I've always been told by my family and friends that my hair was not enough. So becoming an adult, I chose to go on this natural hair journey, and it's helped me to embrace my hair more. And now I create paintings to inspire little girls and also other women to embrace their natural hair as well.
Absolutely, and I see that in a lot of these pieces that have these 3D mixed media components. So either you're integrating braids, you're integrating synthetic hair, and there's one where you've done a latte and you're integrating 3D materials to make the foam on top of the latte. So do you remember the first piece that you ever did that had the 3D elements to it, or what you tried out with it for the first time?
Yes, I remember scrolling on Instagram and coming across a painting of someone created a painting with braids. And I was like, oh, I can do that. So I went to my local beauty supply and I got a pack of crochet braids, and I glued it on the canvas along with faux sunflowers. And that actually became the first painting that I sold.
No way, it was the first one that you sold.
Yes.
That's an affirmation, right? About, yes, I can do this.
Yes.
Are there any other 3D elements that you want to be able to use? I know you've gotten some sort of jewels and bling in the grill series. You've done the hair work. You've had some butterflies. What other 3D elements do you want to use next?
just started using air dry clay, and I want to dive more into clay and using ceramics.
Yeah, very cool. It's a hard skill to learn. And it seems like you keep teaching yourself new skills and new techniques. And, just because you have a skill doesn't necessarily mean you can articulate it well or teach others, but you do, and you can, because you teach art classes, right, in the community. Are you working with like young children? Are you working with adults? Tell me a bit about those classes that you do.
In person, I've recently started teaching young children. I help run art stations and art markets, and just teaching children the basics of painting. But I do want to dive more into paint classes and teaching all age groups. Online, I started to make tutorials to show people how I create some of my creations. And I found to realize that I love teaching my skills. I have so much skills, and I feel like it would be selfish of me to just not share it with the world.
I see that. I see that in a lot of your work. On your website, you've got a blog, and one of the blog posts was like 7 helpful household tricks for doing art, and you shared that you use like pasta jars and salsa jars as your water cups for your brushes, right? What other sort of like tips and tricks that you've picked up along the way? Like, do you have like a couple really good ones you want to share?
So the paint I use is acrylic. And it dries very fast. So one thing that really helped me was using containers such as jewelry boxes or ice cube trays with lids. That way it lasts weeks from drying out. Also, I like to use unconventional paint brushes such as nail art brushes for detail, and also makeup brushes for blending.
Really? So it blends the makeup just like it blends the acrylic paint in the other layer
Yes.
out. That's super cool. So when I'm thinking too a lot about your presence online, your Instagram has a lot of like behind the scenes. It has like works in progress. It has step-by-step techniques and tutorials. And do you think is there a big burden in having to be an artist and also like your own social media manager and promoter and content creator? Like, what is that workload like?
It's something that I've grew to get the hang of. When in the beginning of my art journey, it was hard. I started to watch online tips on promoting on social media. I incorporated that into my art business. Usually when it comes to social media tips and tricks that you find online, you don't really find it for artists, specifically geared toward artists. So I make sure I try to implement those tips into my marketing. As you can see, I've grew my following on Instagram to 25K and my TikTok to over 80K.
That's a ton of people. That's a
Yes.
ton. So you have lots of lessons and tips and tricks to
Yes.
tell people. If I think we had to sum up all of your work in this exhibit, especially with one word, it would be like celebratory, right? Like you're championing your community, you're championing your culture, you're championing your heritage. You paint like motivational phrases. You're focusing on things like fatherhood and cherishing one another. Like everything that you do is so celebratory and positive. Do you ever want to paint like moody stuff and heavy stuff? Like, have you ever painted anything sad?
Yes, I have. There's one painting I created where I depicted a woman underwater trying to fight to stay afloat. And that depicts how I feel when I'm sad. It's really hard for me to express that to the world, because it's hard for me to come back to that painting and re-experiencing that sadness or anger. But in the future, I do want to become more vulnerable in my art.
Well, I love all of the supportive and positivity that you've got in your pieces and in your repertoire. What do you want people to take away from coming to see this exhibit at the Multicultural Center?
I want people to feel how I feel whenever I go visit an art gallery or a museum, to leave inspired, not just inspiring to create art or starting their own art journey. I also want to inspire people throughout life. A lot of my paintings, I have messages such as keep going, stay creative.
Yeah, I see that. I love that. Well, now all of these pieces are for sale. So if someone's here and they fall in love with a piece, they can take one home. If they miss out on their favorite piece, if people want to find you, take one of your classes, where can folks find you online?
Across all platforms, such as TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook, it is at Guerline Art. at GUERLINEART.
Awesome. Well, Guerline, thank you so much for sharing your art, your positivity, your community, and yourself with us today.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you for joining us on this episode of Artist Spotlight. We'll catch you next time.